Hello, my name is Joe Murphy and I'm a lawyer with Allegheny Immigration Group in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. My practice is primarily humanitarian and family-based immigration. Our telephone number is 412-521-2000, and if you wanted to speak with me directly, my WhatsApp number is 412-973-3442. Today I'm going to talk about some changes to the rules about who can get a green card, particularly the fact that certain people are going to be denied, certain non-citizens are going to be denied green card, even though they're married to an American citizen. Section 212 of the Immigration Act makes certain types of aliens inadmissible to the United States. That means that even if they marry an American citizen, they won't be able to get a green card. One example of inadmissibility is what are called health grounds of inadmissibility. If an American citizen traveled overseas and married a foreign citizen, and that person had tuberculosis, they would be inadmissible on what are called health grounds. Of course, they could cure their inadmissibility by getting the treatment to the satisfaction of an immigration doctor, but they would be inadmissible on health grounds as long as they had tuberculosis. Another classic ground of inadmissibility, which has somewhat been loosely defined over the years, is what's called the public charge ground of inadmissibility. The idea of a public charge is someone who, in the judgment of immigration officials, would be unable to support themselves without using government benefits in the United States. Those people are inadmissible on what's called the public charge ground of inadmissibility. And just like the person who married a foreigner with tuberculosis and that foreigner could not get a green card, if you marry a foreigner who is inadmissible on public charge grounds, they won't be able to get a green card until they can demonstrate they're not likely to become a public charge. An important thing you should know is that new and even tighter rules are going into effect on October 15th, 2019. And this will particularly affect marriage-based green cards because in most cases, the non-citizen spouse applying for a green card has no work authorization and therefore has no demonstrated ability to earn income. Normally, the way that you overcome the suggestion that the non-citizen spouse applying for a green card will become a public charge and therefore would be inadmissible is by what's called an affidavit of support. The citizen spouse files a form, it's called an I-864, usually attaching their tax returns and demonstrating that they have enough income to take care of themselves and their spouse, and of course any children dependent upon the two of them. And just so you're aware of it, in order to help as many people as possible to get these applications in before that all-important October 15th deadline, we're running a special. We will help you prepare your green card application based on marriage to a citizen between now and October 14th for $1,000 total. And we can do that starting with a $500 down payment. So let's get those applications in. Of course, if you want to talk to me, again, my name is Joe Murphy. I'm with Allegheny Immigration Group. Our telephone number is 412-521-2000. You can reach me on WhatsApp by text or voice, 412-973-3442. That offer is good again through the 14th of October. If you like this video, please like it and share it. We're a small outfit. We don't have a big advertising budget, and we rely on people like you to like and share our videos as a way of getting the word of mouth out, especially in light of the deadlines that are coming down. If you know someone who is in a marriage between a citizen and a non-citizen and they have not filed for a green card yet, we'd like to get them in ahead of the new rules coming down. As long as the application is postmarked on or before October 15th, those applications will be evaluated under the old rules. So we'd really like to hear from you if you're in that situation or someone you know, and we'd really like to get those applications in. All right, getting back to the new rules, I've heard a whole bunch of things. There was a press release in India, of all places, that you won't be allowed to use co-sponsors anymore, and that's where the citizen spouse does not have enough income to fulfill or to help the non-citizen overcome the suggestion of public charge. And sometimes the parents, particularly with younger people, of the citizen spouse will add their income to the application to demonstrate that there's enough income to take care of this new American who's marrying an American citizen. The new analysis that's going to take effect on October 15th is going to be tougher, and that's like a big surprise in the current administration. What they're using is what they call a totality of circumstances analysis. And they'll take into factors into account such as the age of the person applying for a green card, the education of the person applying for a green card, the job prospects of the person applying for a green card. And these are factors that they take into consideration. We don't have all the rules yet, but here's what I know for sure. They've got a list, and I have it too, of certain factors which they're going to call heavily weighted factors. And certain factors are going to be given extra consideration in terms of disqualifying someone or qualifying someone for a green card. And we'll get into those after a short break. This is Joe Murphy with Allegheny Immigration Group. I have an important announcement for you. If you or someone you know is in a marriage between a citizen and a non-citizen and they have not yet filed for a green card, on October 15th, new rules are going into effect about who can become a citizen based on marriage. Under the current administration, we can be pretty sure it's not going to get easier. By some accounts, the citizen spouse may have to show up to twice as much income as they had in the past to prove their ability to support the spouse. So it's important we get these applications in. Let's get those applications in. My office number is 412-586-4131, and my WhatsApp is 412-973-3442. I know cost is always a consideration. Through the 14th of October, we're going to handle a wedding package for $500 down and $1,000 total. That's $1,000 for us to apply for a green card through marriage for you under the current rules between now and October 14th. Again, if you want to get in touch with me, my office is 412-586-4131. My WhatsApp is 412-973-3442. We can handle applications for a green card based on marriage all over the United States. So don't hesitate to send to me if you're out of Pennsylvania or out of the tri-state region. We've handled applications of this type from as far away as San Francisco, and we'd love to have yours. But we want to get those in before October 15th. The special ends on October 14th. It's $1,000 with $500 down payment on a green card through marriage. Let's get those applications in and swamp the system. Before the break, we were discussing factors that are being used to evaluate the application of a non-citizen spouse of an American citizen for a green card. And particularly, we were discussing the public charge rules and how USCIS evaluates the applications of non-citizen spouses for a green card, and we'll be evaluating them in the future starting on October 15th. Now again, I'm hoping that people will take me up on my offer to get these things in before October 15th, and as I said, we're running a special through October 14th, $1,000, and we'll help you with your green card through marriage. Now that doesn't include the filing fees, but we're cutting it really down to the bone to try and help as many people as possible before these new rules come into effect. Before the break, I discussed some of the generalized factors that have always been considered. The applicant's age, the applicant's education, and when I say applicant, I mean the non-citizen spouse of a citizen. They would take into account the job prospects for the non-citizen spouse in this country. And again, they're just looking for people who might not be able to support themselves in the United States without using public benefits. They're called inadmissible. That's a public charge. So they want to make sure that these applicants for green cards, even if they're citizens of spouses, are not going to become a public charge. So there are some factors that are taken into consideration both for and against granting a citizen's alien spouse a green card, and they're called the heavily weighted factors. Now I've got a list of them here. All right, so here are some of the heavily weighted factors that would go against giving a green card to the non-citizen spouse of an American citizen, even though they're married. First one, if the non-citizen applicant for green card is not a full-time student and is authorized to work but cannot show any work employment or recent employment. Two, if the non-citizen applicant for green card has received or has been certified to receive one or more public benefits for 12 months in the aggregate within a 36-month period, beginning no earlier than 36 months before the alien applied for the green card. So that's a 3-year look back. And we'll talk more about the public benefits issue later in this broadcast. 3, if the non-citizen applicant for green card has been diagnosed with a medical condition that is likely to require extensive medical treatment or institutionalization that will interfere with his or her ability to provide for himself, attend school, or work, and he or she is uninsured, and neither the prospect of obtaining health insurance nor the financial resources to pay for the foreseeable medical costs. Now, this is someone, if you had married someone who had health grounds that were not health grounds that would make them inadmissible. Someone, for example, who has cancer is not inadmissible for health grounds because cancer isn't catching, at least as far as we know. But they might be inadmissible on public charge grounds because they're going to require expensive treatment, and that might ultimately require the use of public benefits. And then the last one in the heavily weighted factors against grant of a green card to the non-citizen spouse of an American citizen is if the non-citizen applicant for green card has already been found to be inadmissible or deportable because they're a public charge. So those are the things you want to look for. And the service itself calls them heavily weighted factors. And that means they're going to give a lot of consideration if your non-citizen spouse applying for a green card has one of those conditions. Now I'll just go over them again real quickly, and then we'll move on to the things that are heavily weighted in favor. They might be more fun. All right, so 1, if the non-citizen, these are the factors weighted heavily against. 1, the non-citizen applicant for green card is not a full-time student and is authorized to work, but cannot show that they are working or at least trying. 2, the non-citizen applicant has received more than 12 aggregate benefit months of certain public benefits in the 36-month period preceding the application for a green card. 3, that's the medical condition, a serious medical condition that's going to require a lot of money, and the applicant for green card doesn't have the money or insurance to cover it. They're almost certainly going to have to use public benefits for that. And of course, the 4th heavily weighted ground to determine that the person is inadmissible as a public charge and deny them a green card is if they've already been found inadmissible as a public charge. That's weighted heavily against them. So on a reapplication, it might be quite difficult. I'm going to take another short break here, and then we will talk a little bit about the factors that go in favor of a grant of a green card to the non-citizen spouse of an American citizen. Hey, this is Joe Murphy with Allegheny Immigration Group. I have an important announcement for you. If you or someone you know is in a marriage between a citizen and a non-citizen and they have not yet filed for a green card, on October 15th, new rules are going into effect about who can become a citizen based on marriage. Under the current administration, we can be pretty sure it's not going to get easier. By some accounts, the citizen spouse may have to show up to twice as much income as they had in the past to prove their ability to support the spouse. So it's important we get these applications in. Let's get those applications in. My office number is 412-586-4131, and my WhatsApp is 412-973-3442. I know cost is always a consideration. Through the 14th of October, we're going to handle a wedding package for $500 down and $1,000 total. That's $1,000 for us to apply for a green card through marriage for you under the current rules between now and October 14th. Again, if you want to get in touch with me, my office is 412-586-4131. My WhatsApp is 412-973-3442. We can handle applications for a green card based on marriage all over the United States. So don't hesitate to send to me if you're out of Pennsylvania or out of the tri-state region. We've handled applications of this type from as far away as San Francisco, and we'd love to have yours. But we want to get those in before October 15th. The special ends on October 14th. It's $1,000 with $500 down payment on a green card through marriage. Let's get those applications in and swamp the system. Before that break, I had been discussing factors that weigh heavily against the grant of a green card to the non-citizen spouse of an American citizen. And I'm discussing this in the context of the new public charge rules that take effect and will be applied to any application for green card that's filed, well, let's say postmarked, and that's what it says, postmarked in the rule, after October 15th, 2019. Now that's coming up on us pretty quickly. As I discussed in the little commercial, we're running a special to try and make it as easy as people to get in before that October 15th deadline. And if you want to talk to me about it, you can call my office, 412-521-2000, or my WhatsApp, 412-973-3442. Okay, so there are factors, and I discussed them before the break, that would weigh heavily against the grant of a green card to the non-citizen spouse of an American citizen. And there were 4 of them. I've gone over them, and I'll go over them just quickly again. If the non-citizen applicant for green card is not a full-time student and is not working or trying to work and has a work authorization. 2, the non-citizen applicant has received 12 aggregate benefit months of public benefits in the 36 months preceding the application. Number 3 is where the non-citizen applicant for green card has a medical condition that's serious enough and will require a lot of money but has no insurance or cash to pay for it. They're going to need to use public benefits to get the treatment they need. And the 4th ground of inadmissibility that weighs heavily in favor of a finding that the alien is inadmissible and to deny the green card is where they've already been found to be inadmissible as a public charge. So prior determinations are going to be given much more heavy weight by the USCIS adjudicators. You're not coming in with a clean slate if you've previously been found inadmissible because you're likely to become a public charge. And so that's all the bad news. Now there is some good news. There are factors that are weighted heavily in favor of granting the green card to the non-citizen spouse. And I'll go over them now. I've got the list here. One, it says the non-citizen applicant for green card has household income, assets, resources, and support from a sponsor, excluding any income from illegal activities or from public benefits, of 250% of the federal poverty guideline amount. That is a factor that they actually weigh heavily in favor, and unfortunately that, like a lot of things, tends to favor, well, obviously does favor wealthier people, but if you have that, you certainly want to highlight that in the application for green card, because it was, again, a factor weighed heavily in determination against a finding of public charge under the new rules. Second factor is where the non-citizen applicant for green card is authorized to work in a legal industry. That means you can't use medical marijuana, at least at the present, and will have an annual income of at least 250%, again, of those I-864P federal poverty guidelines. And that form's available online. You can look it up. It's form USCIS form I-864P, and that's the guidelines. That's how you determine how much money or income you have to show. If you can make the base number, that's great. If you can double it, it will weigh heavily in determination, heavily in your favor in determination that you're not likely to become a public charge. Number 3, with a non-citizen applicant for green card has private health insurance appropriate for the expected period of admission, so long as the alien does not receive subsidies in the form of tax credits under the Patient Protection Affordable Care Act to pay for such insurance. That means, I hate to use it, but private insurance sufficient to cover your condition for the period that you plan on being here. That is not Affordable Care Act insurance. All right, we'll take another break now. And after the break, I'm going to talk about the public funds, the public benefits exception. This is pretty serious, and I've been getting a lot of calls about it. And again, the rule is, and I'll just give you a shorty here before we go on break, if the non-citizen applicant for green card has used more than 12 aggregate benefit months of certain defined public benefits in the 3-year period preceding the application for green card, they will be denied as a public charge. That factor is weighed strongly against them. And we'll talk about what those benefits are and how to get around this rule and who's exempt after a short. This is Joe Murphy with Allegheny Immigration Group. I have an important announcement for you. If you or someone you know is in a marriage between a citizen and a non-citizen and they have not yet filed for a green card, on October 15th, new rules are going into effect about who can become a citizen based on marriage. Under the current administration, we can be pretty sure it's not going to get easier. By some accounts, the citizen spouse may have to show up to twice as much income as they had in the past to prove their ability to support the spouse. So it's important we get these applications in. Let's get those applications in. My office number is 412-586-4131, and my WhatsApp is 412-973-3442. I know cost is always a consideration. Through the 14th of October, we're going to handle a wedding package for $500 down and $1,000 total. That's $1,000 for us to apply for a green card through marriage for you under the current rules between now and October 14th. Again, if you want to get in touch with me, my office is 412-586-4131. My WhatsApp is 412-973-3442. We can handle applications for a green card based on marriage all over the United States. So don't hesitate to send to me if you're out of Pennsylvania or out of the tri-state region. We've handled applications of this type from as far away as San Francisco, and we'd love to have yours. But we want to get those in before October 15th. The special ends on October 14th. It's $1,000 with $500 down payment on a green card through marriage. Let's get those applications in and swamp the system. With the break, I was talking about how the use of certain public benefits by a non-citizen can prevent them from getting a green card. And the rule again is that up to 12 aggregate benefit months of certain identified public services in the 3-year period immediately preceding the application for a green card will weigh heavily. It's a heavily weighted factor under USCIS regulations. It'll weigh heavily in a determination that they should be denied a green card because they're likely to need public benefits. Now I'm going to give you the list of programs that would each qualify, the qualifying programs. And remember, these are called benefit months. So what that means is that they're measured in the aggregate. So if you're using 2 of these programs, but for 1 month, that would be 2 benefit months. So those could add up pretty quickly if you're using multiple programs. So here's the list of the benefits that would be counted against an applicant on a public charge determination. Any federal, state, local, or tribal cash assistance for income maintenance, supplemental security, that's SSI, temporary assistance for needy families, federal, state, or local cash benefit programs for income maintenance, often called general assistance in state law, SNAP, Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program. I think that used to be called food stamps. Section 8 housing assistance under the Housing Choice Voucher Program. Section 8 project-based rental assistance, including moderate rehabilitation, public housing under Section 9, and federally funded Medicaid. There's exceptions there, but as a general rule, federally funded Medicaid would count. And again, if you've used any of those programs in the preceding 3 years before you apply for a green card, we really ought to look at that and audit that, because if you have more than 12 aggregate benefit months, that would be strongly weighed against giving you a green card. Now, of course, if you apply before October 15th, 2019, that means your application is postmarked before that date. None of this applies to you. Those rules don't apply until October 15th. If you used benefits before October 15th, that can't be counted against you until after October 15th. If you used benefits and stop on October 15th and then apply after, it will be held against you, but it won't be weighted very heavily at all. If you use benefits before and after October 15th and apply after October 15th, and you have the 12 aggregate benefit months in the 3 years before you apply, it is going to be weighed heavily against a grant of a green card. So that's something to consider. Now, notice there's a 3-year look back. So one of the tricks or tips I might give you, if you're close, is maybe just wait it out. If you're going to be, because the 3-year look back is 3 years back in time, and you could go forward and not be using those benefits, and then you might go under that 12 benefit months in the 3 years preceding. Now, an important note here is that if you're overstaying to run out the clock, you will start accruing unlawful presence. And if you accrue more than 180 days of unlawful presence, you'll become inadmissible as an overstay. So you might cure the public charge problem that you used public welfare in the past, but then out of the pan into the fire because you overstayed. So the rules on overstays are that up to 180 days, that doesn't make you inadmissible. If you overstay by 180 days to 365 days, you are inadmissible for 3 years. If you overstay for more than a year, you're inadmissible for 10 years. So you really don't want to stretch that out too long, and you might want to do some careful thinking about whether you want to do that at all, and whether there's any benefit to be had in that regard. Another interesting thing is that certain people, even though they've used these things, are inadmissible. They're almost insulated from being determined to be a public charge. There are groups that are exempt and can't be determined a public charge, even though they've used these programs and even though they've used them more than the 12 months in the 36 months preceding. Now let's see. A list of the people. I don't have the complete list here. You might want to, there's an earlier live, it's on my Facebook and on my YouTube channel, which is just Joseph Murphy. But if you wanted to look it up, you could type in Joseph Murphy public charge on YouTube, or just go back through this, the new public charge rules Facebook video that I posted. And in that video, I talk about the exempt categories. Some of them are pretty predictable. Pregnant women, children, refugees and asylees, which are humanitarian, and those people commonly need a lot of help. There's certain Afghans are listed for a bunch of reasons. Text message there. But if you want to see the full list, at least the full list that I know at this time, you need to go look at that other video. And again, you can see it on this Allegheny Immigration Group Facebook page, or on my YouTube channel, which is Joseph Murphy. And if you were to type Joseph Murphy public charge into your YouTube search bar, I think you'll find that. So that's that. Now, if you like these videos, please share it. We're a small outfit. We get a lot of our business through word of mouth, and we're depending upon you to help us get this out, particularly if you know someone this is relevant to. And that would be a marriage where an American citizen is married a non-citizen and they have not yet applied for a green card. We've got an important deadline coming down on October 15th. The rules about who can get a green card, even if they're married to an American citizen, are going to get tougher. And again, we're running a special to get those people in under the wire. It's $1,000 for us to help you with your green card through marriage paperwork. Of course, filing fees, we don't control that. So that doesn't include filing fees, but we can start with as little as $500 down. And we're doing that as a public service to get people in under the wire. If you want to take my advice and file right away, if you want to take up that offer, you can call me in my office, 412-521-2000. You can also call me on WhatsApp with text or voice, 412-973-3442. And we handle these things all over the United States. Of course, primarily my work is here in Western Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland. I do some work in Detroit and Minneapolis, and I've got cases as far away as San Francisco. So if you're out of town, sometimes it's a good idea even to hire a lawyer in a smaller city like me, where you can get the same service and not pay the, so to speak, big city prices. But I'm here for you, and I'd like to help you and advise you in regard to these things if I can. Let's see. At any rate, I hope you found this video useful. Please do, again, like and share it, and particularly share it to people you know who might need to hear it. If you want to take my advice and file right away, you've got that information. Thank you for watching. Don't forget our $1,000 offer now through October 14th. I'm Joe Murphy with Allegheny Immigration Group, and thank you for watching.